everyone, it's Helena Hart, and I'm here with my good friend and fellow coach Rebecca Boatman.
Hi guys.
We are so excited. I hope everything's working. We're doing this on my phone, which I haven't really done too much before, so let us know where you're watching from and if you can hear us and see us okay. Hopefully the comments will still pop up on my screen. I'm at Rebecca's place visiting today, and we're really excited about this topic. We're going to be talking about 3 sexy attitudes that will attract the man you want, whether you're single and looking to attract that high quality man, or if you're in a relationship or dating, or you just have your eye on one particular guy and you want to bring him closer, right?
Yeah, maybe when you're with isn't the one.
Yes.
You're like, know it?
Yes,
So you're like, I
yes.
want that one.
You guys, we were cracking up getting started with this, trying to
Yeah.
find a place to set up, and her house is so beautiful. If you guys want a tour at the end, we would love to show you around because she hasn't lived here very long yet, but it's just amazing, and we were just having so much fun. Oh, yay, thank you so much, Jennifer.
Hey Jen.
We're so glad we can see the comment. So yeah, let us know where you guys are watching from. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Rebecca, she is a women's dating and feminine energy and empowerment coach who helps women attract the right man and create an extraordinary relationship that lasts. I hope I said that correctly.
It works.
I just made that up off the top of my head.
It's pretty much it.
That's it, right? Okay, hello everybody.
Hi,
Thank you guys for saying hi, Evelina, Tana.
Hey.
And if you guys have questions for us, we can see your comments from here. So this is great. Let us know any questions you guys have around this topic. And we'll just jump right in. Hi,
Mike's
Mary. Oh, Mike.
Yo, dude.
Mike called us right before we were about to go live, and he's like, are you guys going live yet? I want to watch, but it took us
hang on, I'm taking a million selfies.
it took us forever to set this up. So, all right, let's just jump right in. It looks like we have a good amount of people joining.
Yeah.
So, Rebecca, what is that first sexy attitude that will attract the man you want?
Doesn't everyone want to know? Who wants to know? Give us a one if you want to know. Such a good question. So the very first, most important thing I truly believe and that I see work for all my clients is really having faith in your vision, right? So not only do you need to know what it is that you really want on a feeling level, right? So we can know what we want when it comes to looks, but we also have to know what we want when it comes to how we want to feel, right? So how do you want to feel in that vision, and then having faith in that vision. So it's one thing to say, okay, Rebecca, like, Helena, this is how I want to feel. I want to feel adored. I want to feel safe. I want to feel all these things. And that's beautiful. So we have to know how we want to feel, but then most importantly, on top of that, we have to have faith in that vision, right? So having an attitude of faith, really having an attitude of faith in your vision is going to take you, it's going to help you past those men that ghost. It's going to help you past the men that aren't a match, because the more you just have faith in your vision, you're not so attached when it doesn't go well. Like come on, we've all had crappy dates, right? Maybe more than one. I've had more than one.
Oh gosh, yeah, we've all been there, right? Yes, Trisha, great question. We will get that at the end. Should you date more than one man? That actually ties in a little bit to what we're going to be talking about. So stay till the end, especially the third attitude. You guys are going to love this.
Yeah,
that's probably the most
key.
important one. So yeah, I love that. What would you say to women? Because I know it's one thing to say, okay, I know what I want, and but it can be hard to hold that vision when, like you said, maybe you've gone on a bunch of bad dates, or you're online dating, and you're, the kind of men you're attracting aren't in line with that vision. Do you work with women in that situation?
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you say there?
So, okay, there's 2 questions I feel like. One is, okay, what do I do if how do I not lose faith in the vision? And the other one being, what if I'm attracting all these men and they're not the vision? So, well, make sure that you really do know what it is that you want. Like, you really got to know on an energetic level, like, this is what I want to feel, right? I always say, like, you got to have your 3 feelings. And I know I think I talked about this with you on another live before. Like, it's so important. Like, fun, safe, adored. That's what it was for me. And then and you constantly you're very clear on that, and you're creating that energy in your life on a personal level day to day, right? So you're consistently creating that. And then with the question of how do you, still have faith even if it's not, say you're not attracting the best dates, just know, first of all, that that's totally natural, you guys. Like, to have some doubt creep in, like, I think it's totally natural, it's totally okay. But the key part here with what you're asking is not letting it win, right? Because if we let the doubt win, then we're dating from this space of like, we're dating from like a space that's not inspiring. We're not encouraged, and then that shows up in our energy, and it's going to show up in our results. So if that's happening, you want to stop and look. Do I truly believe that I can really have my dream relationship? Like, do I truly believe it? Because if you don't, if there's fear, that if fear is stronger than the vision, then that's going to be showing up in your results, and it's totally okay. But that doesn't have to be the end all be all.
Totally. I totally agree with that. I think the worst feeling in the world is like wanting something and doubting it, right? Mike Goldstein, easy dating tips, fun, safe, adored. I love that. What date did you tell the man these 3 things? Oh, disappeared. Did he, or did he never tell him and you hope he just delivered? Oh, would you suggest telling a man your vision? I think I heard you talking about this. By the way, go join Rebecca's Facebook group, Brave Ladies. I stalking her Facebook page earlier, watching all her videos, trying to come up with some ideas that we could talk about today, and that's where we came up with this topic. So like, would you suggest that the woman share this with her guy or with men when she's dating? What do you have to say about that?
That's such a good question. So I'm gonna say, heck no. That's me not swearing on Helena's channel.
You can swear on my channel tonight.
Okay, no. Because here's why. Is because it depends. Well, first of all, you're gonna share. Are you sharing from a space of, hey, here's my agenda, here's what I want, you better meet these needs? Okay, right? And no one's attracted to that, right? I mean, at least I think even as a woman, if a man says, hey, I want this, it depends on where they come from, right? The energy behind what it is that they're saying. And I think the best thing is to date a man, right? See him objectively and focus on the experience. So am I feeling adored, right? So this is something you get to check in with yourself as well. And am I feeling safe? Is this fun to me? You get to ask yourself on those dates, am I experiencing this? And then just be in reflection as you're dating, because then it's going to be easy to decide, okay, this is a wonderful man, versus getting caught up in, okay, maybe they do say yes, and then that's not the experience, right? So you gotta, like you say, lean back, and then check in, how am I feeling? Am I experiencing this?
Yeah, I love that. I think every time I go like this, you guys are really distracting. I know it looks weird on the replay. I'm just scrolling through all the questions. So hello from everyone. It looks like there's some people where it's their first time catching us live. Mike said such a powerful answer. Thank you, Rebecca. And someone's tuning in from Jamaica. We're so happy to have you guys here. It's been a while since I've done this. So much fun. So, also I'm going to be doing a live stream with Mike Goldstein next Saturday. So make sure
love Mike.
we do. Everybody loves Mike. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell notification on my channel to get notified when we go live next weekend. And I love what you said. I always say your feelings are always an indicator that things are going well and this is a good situation, or something doesn't feel good. And maybe this isn't the right situation for me. But when you're cut off from your feelings and you're up in your head overthinking, that's when we're cut off from our intuition. And you have these like spinning thoughts and you're trying to see if this guy meets a checklist and you're not able to feel like, does this feel good, right? Can I be myself around this man? I always say check in with how you feel about yourself in a man's presence, because we can get very caught up in how we feel about a man and all his qualities, and we're kind of ignoring how we're feeling about ourselves. So that's kind of using my language with this, holding the vision is tuning into your feelings, staying in touch with your feminine energy, and seeing if, these dates you're going on, to answer the previous question, if they're matching this vision or not. And then, right? And then quickly moving on when someone doesn't match, on to the next better man, on to the next better place, rather than staying stuck, hanging on to a situation that's maybe not in line with your vision.
Have you ever done that where you stayed stuck and you're like, I know this isn't my vision, but why can't I get out of this? Have you ever been there?
Who hasn't been there? Of course. Yes, we all have. Totally. And that actually brings us to our second attitude, unless was there anything else you wanted to say about that one?
One thing that I wanted to touch on is what I'm thinking of, and I see women do this, is they'll want to gather data about where the other man's at to then make a decision for themselves. And I think that sometimes we can do that without even realizing that we're doing it. So just notice when you're on dates or even in relationship, if you're like, I wonder what he's thinking, what does he want, what's his plan, is he into me, is he not? Like anytime you're looking for what he thinks of you, notice you're trying to gather data externally to then make a decision for you. So we get to just pause those questions and come back to, okay, how am I feeling? Like what is this experience? Like, is this someone I could really see myself with, right? Bring the questions back to you. Super powerful.
I think it's really important. I always talk about taking your focus off of a man and putting it on yourself, and that's the perfect way to do that. Is this in line with my vision or not? So, perfect. Okay, let's jump into the second attitude. And do you want me to take this one?
Yeah.
Was there a fly? Yeah. We're outside today. Second attitude is the man in front of you, or any man, is not the goal, right? So I say anytime you make a man the goal or the prize in your mind, I know it can be easy to do this, especially when we get caught up in our
He's the one.
the
I
chemistry
swear.
or our strong feelings for him. It can be easy to, I mean, we've all been there. You put the guy on a pedestal, you start ignoring red flags, right? So the
Yeah.
minute you make a man the goal or the prize in your mind, you know something's wrong. You're in your masculine energy. You feel that sense of like longing or yearning for him, and just know that's never gonna work for you, and there's a much better way. So I'd love to hear everything you have to say
It'll
on that.
never
Yeah.
work. Right.
It'll never work.
It won't, because
Right.
then you're like you just feel like you're constant, like your power is being placed outside of you, and then you're always fragile, and you're being dictated by where they're at, and it's just, it won't work. So now you want to know what I thought?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like exactly what Helena said is, if we make, whenever we make the person, say we go on one date and we're like, oh my gosh, he's it, like he's, you know, this is the one, and then we cut ourselves off from all these other possibilities, we're making that one man the goal. So what you want to do if you're in the beginning of dating, or actually no matter what stage you are in dating, is you want to step back and continue to date for your vision, right? Coming back to number one, these go hand in hand. Continue to date for your vision, and know that the byproduct will be the vision, right? The byproduct will be the man. Okay, so if you meet Tom and you're like, oh my gosh, Tom is it, he's so hot, like he's got all these things, like still date Larry and Chuck, okay? Like still do it. Focus on the experience, and then know that the right man will tell you that he wants to see you and only you.
Yes, we had a question earlier. I saw it pop in. I forgot who it was from. Oh, hello, Luann. We're glad you're here
Hey,
too.
girl.
Someone was asking, should you date more than one man then?
Oh,
And so
yeah.
what are your thoughts there? That fits into this one.
Yeah. Good memory.
Yeah, well, I would say I saw it and I was like, oh, we're going to answer that one. I think it might have been Trisha. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I would say until a man comes across with what you want.
Yeah.
Because we've all been there. Who hasn't, you know, you're dating a bunch of guys and there's this one guy that you really like, and you kind of, even in your mind, you're committed to him.
You're already married,
right?
you got kids.
Before you know what's going on with him, right? Before
Yeah.
you know if he even, you know,
Is
wants the
single.
same things as you do. Exactly, right? So, yeah, so I would totally recommend keep your options open until there's like bees and stuff out here.
We're in the Goonies.
We have to show you guys, we'll at least show them
Yeah.
the pool or so. It's so beautiful here, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So yeah, you don't want to make the man the goal. I would say make yourself the prize, or in the goal, kind of, not in an egotistical way. But oh, hello, yes, let us know your thoughts on this one. We'd love to hear it. Not in an egotistical way, like you need to treat me like a queen. You know, here's my list of
That's an
requirements.
ultimatum, and no one likes ultimatums.
Yeah, but just, you know, even, you know, I'd say my audience doesn't have that problem usually, but I always just like to say it, you know, because some people are like, well, you know, isn't that kind of selfish? But it's not selfish in the negative sense. It's just not putting a man on a pedestal, or not trying to prove yourself to him or win his love, or kind of prioritize him before he's investing in you and prioritizing you. I know we wanted to talk about making yourself a priority. Would this be a good time to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm just reading these questions here. What advice would you give for when a man says he has trust issues from infidelity in past relationships? Great question. Do you have any thoughts on that?
What was she said? What would you say, or what would you do?
Yeah, if your man has trust issues.
So I think, well, it's great that he felt safe enough to share it with you. So first off, I would acknowledge yourself. Like, not everyone's gonna come off the bat and say stuff like that. And then secondly, you get to decide: are you willing to be with someone that doesn't trust? You know, you just gotta ask: are you willing to be with someone that doesn't trust? Now, you can ask. I would ask, like, do you trust me? You know, like, I understand having trust things that come up, but you know, ask, do you trust me? And then if someone says no, if a man says no, do you want to be with someone who doesn't trust you, right? That's when you get to get clear on that. And any coach would say no. Right? Like, you want to look at what's causing you to want to entertain a relationship with someone who isn't willing to trust. That way, you can be in harmony, and trust is important. It's a foundation in relationship.
Yeah. See where you're not trusting yourself, and maybe that's where I mean, if this is a pattern for you, I don't know anything about your situation, but if you have a pattern of attracting men who don't trust you, see where you're not trusting yourself, or see where you might have some trust issues, and they're like reflecting that back to you. Not always the case, but often it's, you know, men show up to kind of shine a light on what you need to heal.
I didn't want to see that.
Yeah.
Right?
Where it's like, you know, like I know a lot of women out there in my community too, where they attract men with all that have all this healing to do still and all this emotional baggage, and it's just like, you know, where in your life do you feel like you need to be the one to like heal them and fix them, right? So yeah, something to look at. I know there's so many like bees and stuff out here. It's so funny. He says he trusts me, but he doesn't want to. He wants to take things slow because he doesn't want to rush into another relationship.
Beautiful.
Okay,
that's you can respect that for sure.
And then maybe, you know, not just make sure that the two of you are on the same page before, you know, committing yourself or investing so much emotionally. I would say. Okay, are we ready for number 3?
Yeah,
what's number 3?
I love this one. So this is to really not be attached to the specifics / the how.
So important. That's so important.
You know. So wait, let's tell them what is, if we are attached to the specifics or the how, what would that be, so they know what not to do? I feel like that will help.
Okay, yeah. So let's go back to number 1, having faith in your vision. You have this vision of what you want, and you're like, here's how it has to be with this one specific man, right? Like love must come this way, or look like this, or come from this one specific person. Or I'm not open to online dating because I don't believe that, you know, good men are out there. I'm not open to dating someone at work or this circle of friends or who live in this, you know, it's like we close ourselves off. Right?
Without even realizing that we're doing it.
Yeah.
How, like, it's so funny. I had one client who's like, I'm not going to meet a man in my town because I live here. So she put on all her dating apps. She put like 3 hours out. And then I'm like, okay, but who decided, like, you know, we could just do it without even realizing that what we're doing. And then of course the man she ended up with literally lived 15 minutes away from her.
Wow. Beth just said, wow, you're in my head. I mean, we all do that. We put up these kind of arbitrary. I was just talking to a client with one of the smartest, most amazing clients I've ever had this thing too, that didn't want to meet someone super close by. And I'm like, I always tell someone, if they have a type like that, just try the opposite, just because there's probably something there that needs to either be healed or something to learn. You know, we develop these beliefs, and sometimes they're not serving us, right? Like the greatest guy in the world could live down the street from you, but you might not be
neighbor.
Right. You might not be seeing him.
Peeping at you. I'm just joking. That'd be really creepy.
So the how is none of your business, right? I'm just tuning in. Can you give some sexy attitudes, actions, ideas for those who are married or in relationships? And I would say these apply. These totally apply. So number 1, if you're just tuning in and just to recap, number 1 is having faith in your vision. So even if you're in a long-term relationship, what's your vision for your future with the two of you? Not making a man the goal. This could play out in all kinds of ways. Not making your agenda the goal. Not saying we have to go on vacation here. We have to do this in this way, right?
You have to meet my parents on this date.
And then not being attached to the outcome, like not being so attached to having, like, getting your way every single time, choosing the connection over always being right or always getting your way, right?
Yeah, that's a good one for in relationship. And I think knowing, you guys, that we really can't control who, how, and when we fall in love. Like, we really can't. And the moment we think we know the how or the specifics is us actually trying to create perceived control. And that's the opposite of intimacy, right? Because in intimacy, there's no control, right? And intimacy is this beautiful connection, versus anytime we feel this need to control it, to construct it, to create it, and with this whole play in our minds, I know I'm gonna meet him in this aisle inside Whole Foods, and that's what's gonna happen, right? Which, very well, there's some cute guys at Whole Foods, y'all. Go to Whole Foods, Home Depot, you know. So know that you don't need to know the how. Like, focus on the experience and continue to show up. And even if a guy asks you out and you're like, I don't think that's my guy, I don't think. But you don't know, okay? You don't know, so be open. Allow yourself to graciously receive. And even if he isn't your guy, as you're allowing yourself to date, it puts you in that feminine energy, which is going to attract even more men. So date. And do the single to mingle challenge, y'all, too, because we're going to be dating in there.
In the description right now, we'll also try and add it to the comment section. Rebecca has a free single to mingle challenge for all the single ladies out there. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So for any single ladies who are like, you know, you're just uninspired by like lame Bumble conversations or Tinder, or you haven't dated in a while and you want to get out there, it'll be really fun. It's a great group of women who are in the same situation. They want to get out there and they want to mingle with high quality quality men and they want to date like Madonna and just have fun with it, then absolutely join. Absolutely join.
Yeah, it's totally free, and it starts pretty soon, right?
Yeah.
And then the link is in the description right now, so go check it out and get connected with Rebecca. I'm just scrolling through some of these comments here. This makes so much sense. Terry said, "Thank you, not being attached
Terry.
to certain outcomes helps so much." Yeah, it can be hard, right? But it's the most important thing. It really is. Jill said, yes, this definitely can apply to long-term relationships. What actions would you recommend to a new relationship that's long distance? Do you know? Do you have anything to say about long distance?
Oh, I didn't say your name, but my first question is this your first long distance relationship, or have you had multiple long distance relationships?
Yeah, good question. What if this is your first one? What would you say?
So, and then what was the question? It was
how to apply these to long distance.
Okay.
So let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, what actions would you recommend in a long distance relationship?
Okay.
I have had long distance before, she said.
So I'm gonna pick your brain a little bit, girlfriend. So anytime, because I've had multiple amazing, good-hearted women come to me, and they've had patterns of long-distance relationships. And actually, a lot of times when that happens, sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, so this may not be you, right? I'm just shooting in the dark here. There's a little bit of protection or protective mechanism going on, because by dating a man who's super far, it creates a feeling of safety, right? So it creates a feeling of safety. So my question for you, love, and something just to explore is, what am I protecting myself from? Right? What am I protecting myself from? And I'm not saying that is the case for you. Just get curious. Just get curious if this is a pattern, okay? And then in terms of what action steps, it's the same thing, right? It's focusing on your vision. And if you're not in a relationship, right, you're just dating and getting to know each other, I would let him know, hey, I'd love to see you. I'd love to spend time with you. And let him come to you, and continue to date people in your area, right? So you can still, this person can be a possibility, but what we don't want you to do is then he's the man, and you cut off all possibilities. So say, hey, I would love to see you, spend time with you, and then continue to date as well, and focus on the vision, not the long distance man or any specific man. And
that is great advice. Amazing advice. I could not have said that any better. Yeah, not focusing so hard on the one, being open, totally fits into what we were saying. That was so good. I'm just gonna scroll through and see if I can do these. I know this looks so weird on the replay when I do this, but I just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. If you guys have any more questions, we were just going to do like a quick 15-minute. We've been going about 20 minutes now, so let's see.
It's so nice to meet you guys.
Hello, everybody.
Helena has the best community,
I do have the best audience. They're so awesome, so smart. Oh, thank you, Mike. I don't know if Mike's still watching, but first live stream.
From Seattle. Hey, girl, I'm from Bellingham.
Oh yes, Washington, right?
Yeah.
You're so correct. Such powerful answer. Hello, everybody. I think we might have gotten, let's see. Yep, we got the trust issues one.
Is out of his way to visit me in the new house.
That was the, yeah.
Oh, no, it's someone different.
That was the one with the, who we answered her. Slow is not a bad idea to see all situations. Wow, you're in my head. So funny. Okay, let's see. Yes, wow, love it. Thank you. What can you say for me about a man who gets lazy and complacent? Oh, Jessica, yes. Jessica responded to our post when I said, I believe that's you, Jessica. Do I have that right? I did or improve my vibe. How can I overcome in my feminine? Okay, I believe she asked a question when I did a post saying what topic should we do. She wanted us to do one on how to stay in your feminine energy and apply these concepts when she's in a relationship, I believe, and her man she described as kind of lazy. Yes, okay, good. I'm glad. How did I remember that? That's so funny. I think I remembered your name. I think I remembered Jessica.
Hey, girl.
So yeah, when a man is getting lazy and complacent, how do you like keep that attraction going strong and keep these sexy beliefs going?
Is she saying, hang on, are you saying that you're not attracted to him, or are you just, what's the question?
Oh, he goes through phases of solid masculine goodness, and then he gets lazy and entitled.
Okay, and then the question was
how to overcome in my feminine, how to stay in my feminine.
Or improve my vibe.
Yes,
okay.
Thank you. Yes, okay.
So I think the first thing, do you want me to start?
Yeah, go for it. I'm just gonna scroll through these real quick. Where you go?
The first thing that's coming to my mind is when you decide to be in your feminine energy and you decide to operate from that space, that is not dependent upon whether he's in his masculine or not. Because I know what can happen is maybe you see him not being as masculine as much, and then you feel like you need to step in, and then you get resentful and like, what the, right? and you will shift out of your feminine. So just allow yourself to stay in your feminine still. So one of my favorite analogies is the volleyball one. Have I told you this one? It's so good. So in volleyball, you know how you have a setter and then you have someone who hits it over? So if the man is used to us setting it and we hit it over, what happens is he just starts to back away because he's gotten so used to that. So even if, let's say, you're like, hey honey, go take the kids to school, and then it's like 8 o'clock and they need to be at school at 8:05, and you're like, they're gonna be late. Our natural go-to might be to get out of our feminine, take the kids to school and do the thing. Still let the kids be late. Still let him take the kids to school. Still stay in your feminine, and this takes practice. But if what the dance that you're used to has been a learned dance that you guys have been doing together, in order to undo it, you get to consciously decide to stay in your feminine and be committed to that regardless of wherever he's at in his energy. Are you with me?
Yeah, I like that. So you're in your feminine not to get a certain